How does Giveth 2.0 fit into the common stack? Well, that's a great question, actually, because Giveth the common stack came into existence actually out of Giveth and block science. And so Giveth, our second component, our technical component that we want to build is the Giveth proposal engine. And so in the meantime, Giveth as a solution, as our donation platform, is going to continue to exist and to evolve. And we're currently working on the new version, which is Giveth 2.0. And yeah, so we have a number of people. Danny, for example, who's here also on the call, is also working on Giveth, and so that community is definitely moving forward. So you should definitely join if you want to. Any last words on Giveth or Lorelai? Yeah,
Lorelai.
I'll just say a couple more things about it that maybe some people aren't familiar with what it is, but it's a proposal framework, but also serves as escrow and gives transparency and accountability to the dispersal of funds for people's work. So there's reviewers on milestones that hold the escrow for money donated until the work is done, and with that, it's like aiming to give a lot more trust into work that's being done by nonprofit type communities. It's important to me a lot because I came into this space from like a lot of disillusionment with the nonprofit industrial complex, and like, is there any way to, to have community initiatives that people trust their money with? So that's the purpose it serves, and it's already fully existing and built, and is something that has been worked on for more than 3 years now. I started a couple of years ago using and working on it, and the 2.0 is just going to make it a lot more smooth and useful for everyone, so that these commons can have that integrated into their whole stack of tools they can use to manage their communities.
Yeah,
accountable escrow.
Two things on Giveth. Number one, we started it almost 3 years ago, and the blockchain space has evolved a lot. We were never able to get it user friendly enough for the people that we wanted to use it, because it is a donation platform, and it was intended to have impact on the ground for people, normal people. But we could never get the UX good enough that to the point where we thought this would actually help someone instead of hurting them, because they'd have to figure out MetaMask and figure out all these things. But now the tools are so much better. And that's why we want to do a 2.0 version, because we have better. When we started, we had to do a sidechain, and there were no sidechains. There were no open source block explorers. We had to do all of these hacky solutions, honestly. But now there's like amazing tools that if we start fresh, we can actually build a really good product that can have an impact on the ground. And the number two piece of this is the way it actually fits in is very critical. What Giveth allows us to do is be an interoperable proposal framework, so that I can make a proposal, kind of like making a grant proposal. And when I put it out there, instead of having to make a grant proposal to Moloch, to Metacartel, to YangDAO, to all of these DAOs, I just make one Giveth proposal. And then everyone can see it. Every commons can see it. If there's a commons that's like a global warming commons, and then there's a local environmental commons, they can both fund the same proposal. And when they fund those proposals, what's also important is that like in our baseline system, we are using stable tokens, right? But for these economies to be powerful, they really benefit from being circular, where the people who earn money receive not the money that's in the escrow, the stable currency, but actually tokens in the commons. Because number one, this adds value to the community at large, because we're using our currency instead of someone else's currency. Number two, they have valuable input. They are on the ground working, and we want their opinion, if they can afford to hold some of the tokens, will be really valuable to future input. So Giveth will allow us to ensure that we have the escrow in the stable token like DAI. And then at the moment that the person collects it, they get the community token, which is volatile, but they get exactly 1,000 DAI worth of, or if it was a proposal for $1,000, then they would get 1,000 DAI worth of those community tokens. And they don't have to worry about the fluctuation of the price or anything like that until they hold the token. So this is my piece on Giveth.